All right, guys, so you've changed the way that you're running. Things are going well. You're past the point where you're like, well, I feel like I look weird. It probably feels like you look weird because you probably looked weird before. But you're past that now because you've put a lot of time and effort into it. So kudos to you. But we would be remiss if we did not talk about breathing in bracing with everything athletic. And I know there's a lot of you out there who have never, ever been coached on breathing and how to properly brace. Coach is like, hey, brace your spine. You're like, got you, coach. But you take a big old belly breath, you extend, and then you try to squeeze your abs, but all the pressure's in your chest and nothing's in your belly. And if someone were to come along and punch you in the stomach, it would hurt a lot, right? That's not a very good braced abdomen. That does not increase your intra-abdominal pressure, right? Which is the pressure inside of your belly. So, quick breakdown of this. And if you need further help, we've got some videos you can look on YouTube of some different breathing drills that we have. Our favorite being on the ground with your feet on the wall with a ball or foam roller between your knees to activate the pelvic floor. But what we have to do right now is just look at, can we breathe through our belly, and figure out how to do that. So if you put one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly, you should be able to breathe. And it helps if you have a mirror to look in too. Can you breathe in without your chest rising, without your chest hand rising, right? We want to have your belly hand rise. So if anything, maybe push into your belly a little bit and then breathe in and push your hand out with your belly. So it's breathing in and then breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Right? If you can't do that, or you have a hard time with doing that, you need to fix that, because that is going to impact your efficacy in all athletic endeavors. Also, might drive your sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response through the roof. So if you deal with anxiety or anything like that, weird, we probably heard that belly breathing is good for that, because it is. It helps drive the parasympathetic nervous system activation, right? And that's our rest and digest, or calm yourself down nervous system. And that's fantastic whether you're having a panic attack, anxiety, or you're in the middle of athletics and your heart rate's going through the roof, all right? We want to also focus on exhaling all of the way. When people run, when people do CrossFit, when they lift, when they get out of breath, they start gasping for air in. But they never exhale. Pay attention to that next time you run, work out, lift, whatever it is, and get that full exhale. You're gasping for air because you're not getting the gas exchange. You have to expel the CO2, right, to bring in the oxygen and have good gas exchange for respiration. So once we've got that breathing down, we can look into belly breathing, right? Big breath in, extend that stomach out, one hand at your sternum, one hand between your between your hips, and then exhale. And get those hands to stack, right? Exhale every little bit of air you got. Then your abs are already on. You're like, holy cow, that's so tight. And now hold that position, squeezing the abs actively, and breathe into the belly again. Your chest might expand a little bit, but you should see your belly expand a little bit as well, right? The idea is to breathe into the belly and minimize chest expansion. But the belly should be so tight that it's hard to add pressure to the system. So it's like you're holding a balloon in your hands tightly, and then you're trying to blow it up. There's a lot of resistance, and that is how you create a stable spine, right? This arbitrarily doesn't cut it. Then you're putting air into your head, blood pressure's blowing up in your head, Valsalva, it's not good. And then when you're trying to run, you gotta breathe, right? So this position here, you can get into it, squeeze your abs, breathe in. And if you're running, you don't need to be super tight there. We just need to be organized. Squeeze the butt, 2, exhale, squeeze the abs, breathe in, and then bring it all down to 20% tension. And then just hold that slight tension as you're running. That's gonna prevent you from running and being here. This is what we see so much with runners. Oh, my back hurts after I run. Well, I'm extended, right? I'm not organized, I'm extended. Oh, and I'm heel striking, so there's a shock wave going up my bones right into my low back, versus when I'm organized, I'm much less sensitive, right? Because I'm not hanging out end range extension. Oh, and I'm landing on the ball of my foot, my forefoot, or my midfoot rather, And my calf is doing a lot of shock absorption. And instantly we see people's knees, backs, hips feeling better just from changing the way that they're running and their organization. That's why Olympic weightlifters have a high low back injury rate. That's why young female gymnasts or young gymnasts in general have a high prevalence of low back pain because they're always extending into this position and then loading on it, right? Nothing is inherently bad, but too much of anything can be bad for you, right? If you fall asleep and your wrist is bent down, it's not necessarily bad for you to bend your wrist down, but if you fell asleep like this, you're probably going to wake up and your wrist is going to hurt. You can wake up in the morning, get out of that position and do whatever kind of exercises you want and feel pretty good all day. But if you go back to bed every night and you're doing this, you're going to wake up every morning and your wrist is going to hurt regardless of what exercises you do. So, like, share, comment, tag a friend. We'll see you next time.